Shalom. We are back at you with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Gonna check out some of this news. Fresh off the press, President Biden sends 24 tanks to Ukraine. Unity in war. Ukraine stresses unity in war. So this is from NBC 10 Philadelphia News today, fresh off the press. So we're going to hit some of the precepts, updates, and go in on this because yeah man, it's about that time, hopeful year of all the prophecies coming to pass. Let's check it out without further ado. From the top,
that unity you mentioned, Tracy, that is key here. It could take a while to get these tanks to Ukraine and then get the military there trained on them, but they could play a role in what we see in Ukraine this spring. And to those with ties to the region, it means something right now.
Today, I'm announcing that the United States will be sending 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, the equivalent of 1 Ukrainian battalion.
In Washington, President Biden today announcing the U.S. move to send tanks to Ukraine. And in Philadelphia, Eugene Luchu's reaction.
The first thoughts were to thank God and thank America. And thank President Biden as well. The tanks coming in will be instrumental in increasing Ukrainian strategic force and its mobility, and most importantly, its ability in the springtime to mount a comprehensive counteroffensive.
Luchu is president of the Philadelphia branch of the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America. His parents were born and raised in Ukraine, and his wife has family there. This has been a stressful time for you.
Oh my God, yes, and I have friends in the city of Kharkiv.
The announcement today comes after the Biden administration had raised concerns about maintenance and training on the tanks. But today, President Biden saying the U.S. will provide equipment and training, and that the tanks will help Ukraine defend its territory. What will these tanks mean in Ukraine?
From my understanding, the big difference between what we've been currently providing Ukraine is that these Abrams tanks offer more of an offensive capability rather than strictly defensive. And so this seems to be sending a signal that, we're putting more weight behind Zelensky and the Ukrainians, potentially retaking more lost territory.
Mark Schrod is a political science professor and director of Russian area studies at Villanova University. He says the move is also about more than the tanks themselves.
So I think this sends more of a political message rather than a direct military message that Europe and the United States are standing together, and we're in it for the long haul.
The United States and Europe are fully united.
That message is one that means a lot to Luchu as the president recapped the commitments from allies in aiding Ukraine.
And that showed Putin, you know what? We're united. And the arms are going, and they're going to continue to go. And a counteroffensive is going to come. And almost in his own words, if you want to stop this, you better go home.
Now, President Biden was careful today to say that this is about helping Ukraine defend and protect its land, and that it is not an offensive threat to Russia. I'm Lauren Make, NBC 10 News.
all right man, so they're calling this,
is president of the Philadelphia branch of the Ukrainian
they're calling this unity in war, right? Some fighting talk going on, sending 12 tanks to the Ukraine, man, to defend the Ukrainians. And they're saying they're united. So US is united with Ukraine against Russia, and it's really fighting talk, some politics. And one of my previous videos, Putin allies warn NATO. Let's check it out. Yeah, Putin allies warn NATO of nuclear war if Russia is defeated in Ukraine. Right, and that was the other day I did that. Right, so that was in January 25th, man. So Security Council Dmitry Medvedev he's saying, yeah man, Putin allies warn NATO of nuclear war if Russia is defeated. So this is just we're gonna hit some precepts, man, straight to the point, and let the precepts do the talking. Isaiah 42 and 13 says, the Lord shall go forth as a mighty man, he shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar, he shall prevail against his enemies. Went into the word stir. Most are stirring up jealousy, stirring up the nations, man, for them to, as a God of war, He's about that war, stirring up the nations to go against each other, man. Yeah, hedging their bets. And it's all politics, it's all fighting talk. And we're going to hit some of the words, necessary words, as we go through, man, because another one we're going to bring out here. Jeremiah 28:8 says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So we just sounding the trumpet right now, giving a warning. As they say, when there is peace and security, then sudden destruction is to be upon them. So this is what is taking place right now. The prophets, and we're just sounding the warning, man. Before the grand finale, Yahushua returning. And first of all, there's going to be some other prophecies that has to be fulfilled. The digital currency that they're introducing on a sly, under the radar, gradualism. Yeah, the boiling frog. Put the frog in the warm water or put it in the cold water, then gradually heat it up, because the frog, it won't react because the frog is stubborn. It won't react to the slow increasing of the heat. But if you used to throw it in hot water, it would instantly just jump out. So that's what it's called, gradualism. Slowly bringing in these politics, fighting talk, rumors of war, bringing in the currency, the digital currency, which is going to be a slide or a slip or a slippery slope into taking that MOTB. Fighting talk, sly, subtle talk. But we know what time it is, man. That's why the prophets are bringing it out, man. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, right? Prophesying against many countries, right? Goes right back down to the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. When Yahushua was on the earth, man, he spoke about nations rising up against nations, prophecies, pestilence, kingdoms, wars, evil, pestilence. We see in the pestilence now, they're going to introduce that back again. One of the latest I've heard is Bill Gates saying that the dragon juice was bad. It wasn't good enough, man. It wasn't effective. In other words, it went off. So they're going to bring in another one. Which, how many people, man? If we used to just do a mathematical digital count on how many people kick the bucket on the dragon juice, whatever you want to call it, the serpent juice, right, it would be just off the chart. It would be off the chart, speechless. And they're saying it wasn't good enough. So we just have to read between the lines. And all you that are of the elect, you're going to take heed and you're going to follow Yehovah Shem Yoshua's counsel, man. I'll read it again. Jeremiah 28:8 says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries. Right. So you can't say the warning haven't been signed, the trumpet haven't been signed. And against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. See that right there? That's what's taking place, man. This is all, you see that? It's all fighting talk right here. Giving you warning, man. President Biden sends 24 tanks to Ukraine, stresses unity in war. And they're saying, oh, it's not a threat. It's just we're letting them know that we're united. We're letting the Russians know that the US and the Ukraine are standing in unity. Which is going to be, it's like a slap in the face to the Russians. And they ain't going to like that. So that's part of the stirring up. The Lord shall go forth, Isaiah 42:13. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy. Right. Russia's going to be jealous of the Ukrainians and the unity between the Ukrainians and the US. That's going to stir up jealousy. Jealousy. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry. Yeah, Raw he shall prevail against his enemies. Stir up jealousy. We won't go in on this one here. Some juicy, meaty words we're going to look at it. This one here, jealousy.
Strong's H 7068. Kin-ah. Kin-ah.
That's how you pronounce it there. Kin-ah. Yeah. Zeal. So Yehovah Shimon Shah is putting zeal in the Russians against the Ukrainians and the US. He's putting the zeal, the jealousy, jealous disposition. It says sexual passion, zeal, that's the real word there. Of zealous zeal of men for God, of men for the house of God for his people. Right. In this case, it's Russia. He feels vexed. He feels jealous. How dare you? Right? You sending all those tanks to my enemy? You siding with my enemy? Yeah, it's going to put a battery in his back, a battery in the Russians' back against Ukrainians and the US. So it's just rumors and it's just fighting talk at the moment. But the Most High is stirring up that jealousy. A door of anger, men against adversaries of God against men. Envy, jealousy resulting in the wrath of God. But yeah, ultimately it's the Most High. He's putting that jealousy. He's the puppet master, using the triangle, Russia, US, and the Ukrainians. The triangle, the love triangle. He's the puppet master, causing jealousy among them. Right? Envy of man, jealousy resulting in the wrath of God, and he's gonna bring that wrath. So I'm gonna entitle this video the other one I entitled "The Most High is Stirring Up the Nations," the one regarding Putin's advisor, talking about there will be war if they lose, if Ukraine or if Russia loses to Ukraine, there will be nuclear missiles. That's what the advisor of Putin said. Dmitry Medvedev, something of that. His name is something pronounced that way, something to that effect. Let me see if I can just check it out here. Yeah, Dmitry, chairman of Russia Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev gives an interview, right? And that's what he was saying there. Putin allies warn NATO of nuclear war if Russia is defeated in Ukraine. So these are just like building blocks to it, man. So I'm going to title this video, this is the storm. This is the storm before the calm. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. This is the storm before the cry. He shall cry, yeah. Roar, he shall prevail against his enemies. And we're just hitting these precepts, man. Alright, man. Here's another fitting precept. Proverbs 20 and 24 says, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own ways? So this is the triangle, Russia, Ukraine, and US, the love triangle that the Most High is using. He has them as puppets, and he's the puppet master, stirring up jealousy among them. The love triangle. Yeah, so the Most High, yeah, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? They're all being used by the Most High as puppets, because man's going is of the Lord, and they don't understand. They don't understand what's going on. Even if they didn't want to fight, right, or get into the politics of it and get into the sending tanks of it, even if they didn't want to, the Most High's man's goings are of the Lord, and they can't understand his own way. It says it there. It says it there perfectly. Another precept to back that one up, Proverbs 21. And as a matter of fact, let's go to this one. Proverbs 21 and 1 says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as a river of water. He turneth it wheresoever he will go. He turneth it wheresoever he will. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Again, They don't understand what's happening. They're being used, they're being MK Ultra'd, manipulated, puppet mastered, right? As rivers of water is turneth its wheresoever he will. And he directs them where he wants them to go. He's in control of their heart. He's took control of them. MK Ultra, mind controller. Yahweh Bahashem Yehoshai. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. I can't stress it enough. This is all the doings of Yahweh Bahashem Yehoshai. Jump down to 30 of Proverbs 21. There is wisdom. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord. You're right, man. They're saying, oh, this is just an act of, this is unity. We're speaking unity. But there is no wisdom nor counsel against the Lord. When they say peace and security, then sudden destruction is to be upon them. You're going to hit that precept. 1 Thessalonians 4. Yeah, there is no wisdom, no understanding, no counsel against the Lord. Even if they wanted to try and reverse the MK Ultra, they can't. The Most High is overwhelmed them. Mind controller, MK Ultra. Alright, that's why it's saying that there is no wisdom, no understanding, no counsel against the Lord. You can't win. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is in the Lord. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is in the Lord. You can prepare to fight, and you can say, yeah, we everything's going to be all right now because we got the backing of the US sending 12 tanks, as that American former Ukrainian family said. He's got family over there in the Ukraine, but he's now an American citizen, saying, yeah, that's exactly what we needed. We needed them to unite and bring those tanks, send those tanks, so they feel insecure. When they say peace and security, then sudden destruction is to be upon them. Right, so the house is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is in the Lord. So you can prepare and you can think that you're safe and secure. As a matter of fact, let's hit that precept. But there's only one thing, there's only one safety against the day of battle. Safety is of the Lord. The house is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is in the Lord. Right, man. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yeshua to give me the spirit to do this video. This is now we're going to jump to 1 Thessalonians 2. It says, chapters 5 and 2 says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Yeah. Let's go to the top. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, we have no need that I write unto you, for you yourselves know perfectly. Right. The prophets, man, we are announcing all these things. Jeremiah 28 and 8. We prophesied against kingdoms, against nations, war, pestilence, and famine. So we ourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And that's why we're prophesying. We're sounding the warning now. 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So this is going to be the end result ultimately. The Most High going to send the missiles, man. Yeah. After all the other prophecies are fulfilled. That's going to be the grand finale. The Most High going to stir up the nations, is continuing to stir up the nations right now. As we can see with our own eyes, man. Stirring up the nations. He says, the Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. So, like I say, the title of this video is going to be The Storm. This is the calm before the storm. This is the calm before the storm. And it's going to kick off. Abaratazar. This is the year that all the prophecies come to pass, are fulfilled. Abaratazar, Father willing. Let's hear this. Let's hear some more of this.
Here, it could take that unity you mentioned, Tracy. That is key here. It could take a while to get these tanks to Ukraine and then get the military there trained on them, but they could play a role in what we see in Ukraine this spring. And to those with ties to the region, it means something right now.
Today, I'm announcing that the United States will be sending 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, the equivalent of 1 Ukrainian battalion.
In Washington, President Biden today announcing the U.S. move to send tanks to Ukraine. And in Philadelphia, Eugene Lutu's reaction.
The first thoughts were to thank God and thank America. And thank President Biden.
Lujan Lutu, he says he thanks God and he thanks America. Yeah, that's why they're calling it a unity in war. Lujan Lutu, Ukraine Congress Committee of America. Huh?
And thank President Biden as well.
Well, really, enough said on that. Really, we're gonna hit this precept and then we're gonna end it off so that you can see better. I'm gonna zoom in. Alright, Isaiah 42 and 14. Isaiah 42 and 13. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yeah. He shall prevail against his enemies. Again, Yehovah Shemashai is stirring up jealousy against the love triangle. Russia, Ukraine, and the US. And Abaratazar, it kicks off as soon as possible so that we can get out of this bitch. Abaratazar, Father willing. So I want to give our praises to Yehovah Shemashai for putting the spirit on me to do this video. This is the storm before the calm, and that's what I'm going to title it. Shalom to all the sincere Akim, the house of David is rising, and everything the wicked have done to us, past, present, and future, is falling upon their own head. We out.